Today I'm going to talk to you about our Australian currency. Now I have some currency laid out here on the table, as you can see. Now in 1966 Australia changed from sterling to decimal currency, and this meant that we had to have a change in design for all of it. Now the coins are all minted at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, and the notes are made down in Melbourne. As you can see on the table, I have a $100 note, $50, $20, $10 and a $5 note. And the coins are 5, 10, 20, 50, $1 and $2. Unlike what I would have expected, I would have thought that the $2 would have been larger than the $1. However, in Australia, that's not the case. We did used to have a 1 and a 2 cent coin, and I'll talk to you about those as we go on. So I'm just going to discuss each of these characters in a little bit of detail as we go through, so I hope you enjoy. So let's start with the 5 cent coin. Now the reverse side of the 5 cent coin features an echidna, which is a bit like a hedgehog. So it was introduced in 1966, and the reverse side hasn't been changed since that time. It's now our smallest denomination since the 1 and the 2 cent coins were taken out of circulation. Now, when we did have the 1 and the 2 cent coin, this is a 1 cent, and it features a feather-tailed glider. And the 2 cent coin features a frilly lizard, which you can see often in country areas and in the outback. All of the original coins were designed by Stuart Devlin and sculpted by him. So these were discontinued because of the cost of mining and minting them. It was considered it was uneconomical. Now the 10 cent coin, on the reverse side of the 10 cent coin, we have an impression of a lyrebird. Now lyrebirds make a beautiful whipping noise, and they are found in the rainforests, and they have a beautiful tail, and as you can see there's an impression of the tail and the bird on the back of our 10 cent coin. On the back of our 20 cent coin we have represented a platypus duck. Australia is the only country in the world that has the platypus, and it has a duck bill. It has live young. It's just it's an amazing creature. Actually, I'm not sure that it has live young. I think it has lays eggs, but it suckles its young. As I say, it's very odd. Okay, now this is our 50 cent coin. And this, the original, features the Australian coat of arms and has the kangaroo and the emu. When it was first brought into circulation, the 50 cent piece was circular like the 20 cent piece, but people were always getting it confused. So it was withdrawn from circulation back in 1968 and then brought back in 1969 with this, what do they call it, dodecagonal sides, as you can see there. Okay. Did you know that Australians are the only country that eat the emblems of their coat of arms? You can buy kangaroo meat and emu meat in restaurants. Often the reverse side is changed for commemorative mints. So I have another one here that I can just show you. You can see there that it's been changed for a special occasion. Okay, now the $1 coin was introduced in May 1984, and it replaced the $1 note. So this is the note that we used to have. As you can see, it's got Queen Elizabeth II on there Also our coat of arms with the kangaroo and the emu. And on the reverse side, Aboriginal drawings. And now we have the coin, because they felt that due to the wear and tear of the notes, it was uneconomical to keep them in circulation. The back of the $1 coin has 5 kangaroos, so looks very attractive. And also, the $1 coin is a coin that they often use to change the reverse side for commemorative occasions. So this one here is Kingsford Smith, the aviator. We have one here from Choggum from 2011. They had the Choggum meeting here. There's a few other examples. This one was World War 39 to 45. This one was the International Year of Peace. So as you can see, they change it quite often. Okay, and that brings me to our $2 coin. Now, the $2 coin was introduced in 1988, and it took the place of our $2 note, which I'll show you here. It was representative of our sheep farming in Australia, and on the reverse side was the wheat farming. I have to say, it is more convenient to have notes. They don't weigh as much. When you get a lot of change in your purse, it starts to weigh it down a bit, but however, it's considered to be more economical. Now then, the reverse side of the $2 coin has the head and shoulders of an Aboriginal, and it's often changed like the $1 and the 50-cent coin. It's often changed for commemorative occasions. I'm still don't know whose idea it was to make the $1 larger than the 2, but there you go. I would have thought it would have been the other way around, like it is with the 5 cents, 10 cents and 20 cents. A little bit illogical. So that's the coins. Now you can buy all these coins in commemorative sets. Here's a set from 1985. It comes in the cover Royal Australian Mint, and it's an uncirculated coin collection. On the inside it gives a little bit of information about the collection, and shows you the obverse and reverse sides. So here we are. These are all the reverse sides, and they have the $1 and $2 coins. And it says here that all designs were by Mr. Stuart Devlin. Then we have a Royal Australian Mint uncirculated coin set from 1984. And again, a little bit of information about what the coins are made of and what the representations are. Talks about the kangaroo being Australia's largest marsupial, and it talks about the emu being the world's second largest bird. And then there we are, we have the coins. On the back, there's a little bit of information about the Royal Mint, where it is. It's in the Canberra suburb of Deakin, and it was officially opened by His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh on the 22nd of February 1965. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of information about the Australian coins. I'm now going to talk about the notes. Now, the $5 note was designed by Bruce Stewart. Now, on one side we have Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and some eucalyptus leaves. Eucalyptus leaves, of course, grow on the eucalyptus tree and are much loved by koalas. On the reverse side, we have Parliament House, so it's the layout of the floor plan of Parliament House. We have some geometric patterns over here, and also this is the landscape plan for the new Parliament House. It's not new anymore, it's been up for quite a few years now, but it looks, this is the old Parliament House. It looks really impressive when you're driving towards it up Commonwealth Avenue, and you can see it up on the hill with the flagpole. On the $10 note, which was designed by Max Robinson, we have a horseman, and he's got a whip. And this is the poet Banjo Paterson. He's a famous Australian poet, writes lots of outback type poetry. And here are some brumbies or wild horses. It takes quite a lot to design these notes. On the other side, we have a portrait of Dame Mary Gilmore, who was an Australian poet. And this is the Dobell portrait of her, which was painted by Sir William Dobell, and which hangs in the Art Gallery in New South Wales. It shows women of the outback, and there's a bullock train carrying wool, and there are outback scenes that were inspired by her poetry. She wrote about outback Australia. This is the $20 note, and it was designed by Gary Emery. So unlike the coins that were mainly designed by Stuart Devlin, the notes have all had various artists. And so we have the Reverend John Flynn, who was the founder of the Royal Flying Service. We have the Air Ambulance Victory, which first flew from Cloncurry, Queensland on the 17th of May 1928. And there's a camel and rider, and that was the Reverend Cole Harlan, taken in from a photo taken in 1919. The camels were purchased by Reverend Flynn for his patrol padres who undertook mission work in Central Australia. There's pedal gear, which is a representation of the first pedal generators to operate transceiver wireless sets, the sole method of communication on outback stations. Now, this is a portrait of Mary Ryby. I'm not quite sure how it was pronounced, whether it was Ryby or Reby. She was a pioneer businesswoman. This is a schooner, Mercury, and it was completed in 1806, and she owned this schooner for a short time. You can see that in the background there. And this is a building in George Street in Sydney, and she also owned that. So she was obviously quite a well-to-do woman and probably a very astute businesswoman. Now, the $50 note was designed by Brian Sadgrove. It has a portrait of David Unipon, who was an inventor and Australia's first published Aboriginal. Here is a handwritten extract of the preface to his story, The Legendary Tales of Australian Aboriginals. This is the mission church at Point Macleay, as it was in the late 19th century. Now, Point Macleay is where David Unipon's people lived. And there's also a diagram of the patent for his patent application for an improved handpiece for hand shearing, for sheep, a handpiece for shearing sheep. Sorry, got that a bit mixed up. And on the other side, we have Dame Edith Cohen. Now, she was the first female member of an Australian Parliament. There's the Western Australian Parliament House in the 1920s when she was an MP. And there's an image of her at the lectern. This represents her frequent public speaking on women's rights and children's welfare issues. And there's also a representation of a foster mother and children who were wards of the state in the 1920s. This is the $100 note, and it was designed by Bruce Stewart. It has a portrait of Dame Nellie Melba, for whom the dessert Peach Melba is named. Now, she achieved international recognition as a soprano. This is Her Majesty's Theatre in New South Wales, and the performance in September 1911 was apparently a highlight of her career. There's her signature, Melba. And this is the monogram for the program for the 1902 Australian Concert Tour, which was designed by Melba. On the other side, we have a portrait of Sir John Monash. He was one of Australia's greatest military commanders. It's showing the mounted soldiers in World War I. And if you look very carefully, you can see the Rising Sun badge. Now, this was adopted by the Australian Imperial Forces and was worn in World War I. And permission to use the symbol on the banknotes was granted by the Australian Army. So here you can see the soldiers with the cannon. And in here you can see a lyrebird. So each of those notes has a little thing in the side, but this one I particularly like. So there we are. There you have it. The coins and notes of Australia. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching.